But first, 37 days left to stop the mad left. It's our mantra every night, and it means more as the days tick down. 37 days to save ourselves from a fake as Prime Minister, a crazy agenda from the Greens, and the mean girls having way too much power. So, did it get better for Albo today? Let's have a look at the review that was written today, I think in the Courier Mail newspaper, that his day went to pot in just 58 minutes after yesterday, the day before, and the day before that, and the day where he was playing with chickens rather than fighting for himself at the start of the election campaign. Put simply, how would Albo sum up this week?
It was a mistake. People make mistakes. If a mistake is made, I made a mistake. If ever I make a mistake, that it was a mistake. I made a mistake. I'm not trying to analyse it. It's a mistake, Andrew. I made a mistake, and you probably made a mistake. Other people have made mistakes. When you make a mistake, people make mistakes.
And today he was trying to talk about jobs and told us a weird story about pigeon poo.
Under your climate policies, businesses will have to buy carbon credits to offset their emissions. Can you guarantee that workers in towns like Cessnock and other resources towns around Australia, that none of them will lose their job?
Not only can we guarantee it, our Reputex modelling guaranteed it. We've all adopted net zero by 2050. Our policy indeed will see a creation of jobs, 604,000 new jobs created.
Well, that was him trying to talk about the net zero position. But don't forget, it's not about net zero 2050. It is about their position when it comes to 2030. He's running on Shorten's plan from 2019, Morrison holding on to his from 2019. Don't fall for the frauds, including those who want to pretend that it's all about net zero 2050. 2030 comes before 2050. But Albo trying to tell us that he's the working class man who, of course, has had nothing but a career in politics, including as a advisor to the Hawke government economically, when it really was just whispering into the ear of a far-left local government minister. He bizarrely today ranted and rambled on about some job he had when he was young where he had to clean up things that had lots of pigeon poo in it. And quite correctly, it's yet another example of not a bloke trying to be relatable, but a bloke showing us he's not up for it. Not up to even be the alternative Prime Minister, let alone the actual Prime Minister. That's the review in today from the Financial Review. But as for the actual news of the day, the actual discussion of jobs, Australia's unemployment rate is at the lowest it has been in decades, and it's going to fall further. One of the things about this election campaign is that there are going to be 3 moments of economic data. We will hear not once but twice about the unemployment rate. It'll be 4% or maybe 3.75 by the end of the election, and interest rates. Now, all indications are that interest rates will go up. But if, like me, that matters because you're trying to pay off a house, you know that they're going to go up faster and higher under Labor because that's what always happens, as opposed to what's been happening with this government and previous coalition governments. 17%, anyone? Well, the Prime Minister was very happy to not forget the unemployment rate, but to celebrate the lowest unemployment rate in a generation, 4%, Albo.
Ask me about priorities. And I'll talk about what my priorities are. Jobs, 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 and jobs. That's what my priority is.
But the media goes, but what about a National Integrity Commission? That's really more important to us than our dinner parties. Well, I'll tell you about those of us that don't have dinner parties, but we have barbecues. Jobs are all that matter in the suburbs of Australia. And thankfully, there are more electorates in real Australia than the front end of the plane. For his part, the Treasurer, who yet again is stealing the spine for the government, he celebrates the achievement of more than 13 million people having a job, with another 1.3 million to come if the government is returned.
We know that under Labor, 1 in 8 jobs were lost in manufacturing. We've been creating jobs in manufacturing. Those jobs will be across the economy, like in manufacturing. We see huge opportunities in that, like in infrastructure projects. We now have a $120 billion pipeline of infrastructure projects which we increase, like in our regions. We have identified the Pilbara, we've identified the Burdekin, we've identified the Hunter, we've identified Middle Arm in the Northern Territory as key areas of economic growth.